Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. And now, fighting out of the blue corner, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare,
This fight will be the hardest fight both fighters have ever had in my opinion. Kamaru Usman has usually always been the bigger fighter compared to most of his welterweight opponents. Colby Covington, for example, he can be a lightweight. He fought Gilbert Burns, he was a former lightweight. So the majority of the opponents that Kamaru Usman fought, he definitely had some sort of a power advantage over, size advantage over, physical mass advantage over. So he got to outmuscle and outstrength most of these opponents. Now facing Khamzat Chimaev at 185 is a completely different ballgame. Let's say they fought at 170 pounds. Even in that division, Khamzat Chimaev would have been the bigger fighter. But now at 185, after bulking and getting really strong, the strongest he's probably ever been. And then you have Kamaru Usman coming in on 10 days notice, barely bulked up, probably just came off the couch. He's just walking in on the scales as he just walks around probably. And that's about it. And in my opinion, he's not ready for that. He's not ready for a big weight jump on this short notice. Granted, for him, it will probably be the same, he just doesn't have to cut weight or maybe very minimal. And he's been training probably every single day, so he's always in shape anyway. But there is a difference when you have a fighter like Khamzat who actually bulked up and got stronger. So in this matchup, more so than ever before, Kamaru Usman will be the smaller fighter and Khamzat Chimaev, in my opinion, will be physically more imposing than Kamaru Usman. Now, the reality is this: at the same time, Kamaru Usman is a very strong fighter. He's been able to take people down like Tyron Woodley over and over again. So there is perhaps a weight disadvantage or things of that nature, but physically speaking, Kamaru Usman is a specimen himself, but I do believe that he will have a slight disadvantage, and that disadvantage will be very crucial because it will be crucial in the grappling exchanges. Now, before we get to the grappling, let's start what happens before that. This video has been brought to you by Factor. Life can be incredibly busy, and finding time to prepare nutritious meals is often a challenge. Factor, however, is changing the game. They simplify nutrition by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals to your doorstep. Factor's standout feature is their team of gourmet chefs who create each meal with integrity and quality in mind. This translates to meals that not only taste amazing, but also help you feel your best throughout the day. The best part? No prep, no cooking, and no cleanups. Just delicious, ready-to-eat meals in only 2 minutes. If you are juggling a busy schedule and still want to maintain a balanced diet, Factor has you covered. Factor offers a diverse selection of over 35 weekly flavor-packed meals that support a healthy lifestyle. What I love the most about Factor is the convenience it brings to my life, and Factor simplifies eating clean and taking away the guesswork. They also have smoothies and juices which are perfect for convenient snacking. So what are you waiting for? Go give Factor a try. Head over to factor75.com or click the link below and use promo code KeenanK50 to receive a generous 50% off your first Factor box. Again, that is factor75.com or the link below with the promo code KeenanK50 for 50% off your first Factor box. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this video, and let us get right back into it. As soon as each fight opens up, Kamaru Usman, he comes forward, takes the center of the ring, and he rarely backs up. Khamzat Chimaev is just the same. The fight starts off and he's already sprinting, he's already going for a takedown, and he's already just engaging. So there is going to be a battle of who will be the ring general. Khamzat Chimaev tried to do this against Gilbert Burns as well, but he just immediately gave up on coming forward and just trying to take him down. He did do it. He was able to drop him as well, but something in that fight made him back off. Now, in my opinion, Khamzat Chimaev is not as smart as Islam Makhachev. He's not as smart as Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's not as able, I don't think he is going to be able to control his emotions as well as these fighters and make more smart decisions. So Khamzat, in my opinion, made a lot of dumb decisions in that fight, for example, and made it a harder fight for himself. So if they were to rematch between Gilbert Burns and Khamzat, I believe Khamzat would have won with taking less damage, barely if any, and just, cruised away decision or even a submission victory. I do really believe that. But he decided to just stay on his feet, and if you're a grappler and a wrestler, being on your feet 24/7 is not the way to go. But he did do it and he got the job done as well, and that is a credit to him. And the biggest importance out of that fight right now is for him to get that learning experience. It's kind of like when Kelvin Gastelum fought Israel Adesanya and gave him his toughest fight, and one fight later, Israel Adesanya completely schools a champion. Or when Conor McGregor fought Chad Mendes. That was a tough fight. One fight later, Conor looks phenomenal, you know? Or when Conor fought Nate Diaz, one fight later, boom, learning experience, best version of Conor ever, 205 against Eddie Alvarez. So right now, that is in my opinion what will happen to Khamzat Chimaev as well. He fought Kevin Holland right away and he looked good in that fight, immediately took him down and just tapped him out. So right now, we have that version of Khamzat Chimaev, a bigger, stronger, healthier, more time to train Khamzat Chimaev, and that is just simply scary. Khamzat, in my opinion, hopefully, he will not make those dumb decisions and fight with a lot of emotion and a lot of anger. So when the fight opens up, who will take the middle of the ring? Will it be Kamaru? Will it be Khamzat? In my opinion, it will be Kamaru Usman. You know, Khamzat Chimaev, as much as he likes to come forward and, you know, bully people around, he still is a very tall fighter with a decent long range. So fighting very close in the pocket is not going to be his way. But if he does come forward, it will have to be in the way that Conor McGregor does it. You know, just behind his reach at a very long distance, still pushing back the opponent with some kicks and really utilizing a lot of their mistakes against them. So when Khamzat does this and the fight opens up, in my opinion, he will right away shoot him for a takedown. That is a grant. Like for me, that is a guarantee already. He will come in, he will drop down for a single, and he will shoot him for a takedown. And I don't believe that he will get the takedown for shooting in. Kamaru Usman has one of the highest ratings in the takedown defense department, mainly due to him defending most double legs, single legs from the open space. Now, let's just say that Kamaru defends the first takedown. Then he will defend the second takedown, and before you know it, he's up against the fence. And that is where he will get taken down 100%, and I'm mostly sure of it as well. Khamzat Chimaev is insanely strong. He can pick people up, run with them across the cage. He picked Daniel Cormier up like he was nothing. This guy is scary, powerful. So guys like Jack Hermansson got completely toyed with in the grappling department as well when they grappled. So Khamzat is definitely going to be able to outpower him in that clinch against the fence. So he has to continue to press for that takedown. As soon as he gets the takedown, I mean, these guys from the Dagestan region, they just simply outdo Americans. There's just one big difference in that, you know. At the same time, Kamaru Usman is a champion. He will be able to survive, but this is only a 3-round fight. All Khamzat needs to do is just secure a lot of, you know, control time on the mat in the first round, second round, and then boom, he won the fight. I mean, Khabib Nurmagomedov did this against Eli Quinta, Barboza. He never sacrificed control time, positional advantages for the appeasement of the fans. He is a very smart fighter. Islam is the same way, and I believe Khamzat will do that as well. But the more time Khamzat has taking Kamaru Usman down, the more that he can work the back and try to secure a rear naked choke, which will be very hard to get. But if he doesn't get it, he will have at least some control time and dominance in that region. But coming back to the striking department, we have two yet similar fighting philosophies between these two fighters. Khamzat Chimaev barely has good head movement. Kamaru Usman has very poor head movement as well. So these two fighters who like to come forward and collide all the time, they will be pretty much in the faces of one another, and they also like to throw, for the majority, straight punches. Kamaru Usman is really a 1-2 fighter, but then Khamzat, on the other hand, he likes to throw random uppercuts as well. He throws more hooks, but when he is throwing, he's throwing looping shots. He walks in with his head with those shots. So he has to really control himself in this fight. You know, he is a bigger fighter, he's a taller fighter, so he has to really make advantage of that. But the jab of Kamaru Usman will be hitting all night long. You know, in the striking department, Kamaru Usman, in my opinion, has more power. He has more, you know, like tightness in his shots. You know, Kamaru Usman's shots are very stiff, not very loose. Everything hurts. Everything is a power shot. I mean, just look at the fight with him and Colby Covington. Colby, just like Khamzat, he just likes to throw whatever, you know, he just likes to fling his shots. But granted, Khamzat has more power. He definitely has knockout abilities. He dropped Gilbert Burns. He knocked out Jaromir Shard. He knocked out Ikram. So he definitely has power. But in the sense of the way he throws, a lot of output and like diversity in his shots make him more open. But then on the other hand, Kamaru Usman, by just one big stiff jab, one big right hand, can definitely hurt you and just stop that chain of combination punching that you will throw. So this is where we are at. A very competitive fight, and a champion, a former champion that moves up and steps in on 10 days notice. And Khamzat Chimaev is finally getting a fight that he should have gotten, in my opinion. After he beat Gilbert Burns, I think that he should have fought for the title next. Definitely not Colby Covington. I mean, that's for sure. But ultimately, he got his way as well. And this is just the best of both worlds. Kamaru Usman doesn't have to cut weight, and it'll be a great big fight. It's better than the original fight against Paulo Costa, that's for sure. But what will Kamaru Usman be able to do that is much more effective than any opponent that Khamzat has ever faced? Obviously, you guys, it is the championship experience all the time on the highest of high levels. You know, when he fought Leon Edwards for the third time, he definitely got like outworked, exposed in a sense. He just got figured out. That's okay. That's not an issue. You know, when he was fighting him for the first time in the title fight, you know, the second rematch, I predicted Leon Edwards to win because, you know, he's light on his feet, great boxing, great kicks, everything was just in line for him to be able to pick him apart. But I think the altitude really got to him, and after the first round, he was completely gassed. And, you know, the more gassed he was, the easier that Kamaru Usman had, you know, a time getting in and just putting up against the fence and things of that nature. But in the third fight, he was, you know, conditioning was on point, and he fought a perfect fight for 5 rounds. So that fight, in my opinion, is just a fight that Kamaru was going to lose anyway. That's just my opinion, you know. I always picked Leon to beat him. But aside from that, he is still arguably the best welterweight there is after Leon at the moment, right? So him moving up and him possessing all those skill sets, you know, great takedown defense, Kamaru will have a very good time defending takedowns in the open. He will have a great time jabbing. You know, him and Khamzat barely move their heads. They barely take a step backwards. So the fighter with the bigger punch, the bigger stiff shots will be able to dictate the boxing range and perhaps maybe even the kickboxing range. However, Khamzat is not a big kicker. You know, he has some okay leg kicks, but nothing to be bragging about. So the fight will definitely be playing out in the pocket boxing range. So in that range, Kamaru can land his jabs, right straights. He can definitely hurt him. If Gilbert Burns can drop Khamzat Chimaev, a big stiff right hand that knocked out Jorge Masvidal can definitely drop and hurt Khamzat as well. This is a very close fight. People don't seem to really get it because Khamzat Chimaev is a front runner, you know, he's the guy that likes to bully and just be the guy that's like, oh yeah, I'll just keep coming forward. But as soon as he tries to do that in the opening of the fight and immediately come forward, you know, will he be able to back up Kamaru Usman? I don't think so, you know, not with his boxing at least. You know, he really has to chain grapple, you know, shoot him for a single leg, transition into a, you know, double underhook or a body lock, and then as soon as he has the body lock, you know, that's it. But before it even gets to that, you know, there is a lot of things that come into play. You know, he's not some bum. You know, he's not bum rushing Kevin Holland. He's not bum rushing Zhiling Liang. You know, he's not bum rushing Gerald Mushard. He's, you know, he's really going after the Nigerian nightmare, even on 10 days notice. So the danger will always remain, but definitely in my opinion, that Dagestan style, that Chechen style of just keeping coming forward, chain grappling and just putting these guys on the mat. And then as soon as they're on the mat, it's just a completely different ballgame. So, you know, that coupled with everything will give Khamzat Chimaev a lot more room to be, you know, diverse. It is also a 3-round fight, so there is less time to be adjusting and getting used to the opposition, so the aggressor will have the advantage in winning those rounds. So I'm definitely going to be picking Khamzat Chimaev to win by either a decision or a submission win, but it'll most likely be a decision in my opinion. But this will be a very competitive fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
You know, this guy wants to fight every weekend.
6 to 8 wolves with a dominant leader, alpha male, at the top. He leads the hunt and usually eats first.
They call this guy Khabib 2.0.
Your winner by TKO and still undefeated, Khamzat Chimaev.
One of the big stars of Fight Island this past weekend is Khamzat Chimaev. Do you worry that it's going to be difficult to get him fights with ranked opponents?
Where is the ceiling for you? Where is your limit?
I can fight after 1 hour, maybe. If you give me one fight, if somebody injured, just tell me. I'm here in Abu Dhabi. I'm gonna smash everybody.
do you look at the welterweight division and see anybody that can challenge you right now? I mean, we need to find someone that can slow you down.
Doesn't matter, everybody. I'm gonna smash everybody.
You just
Smash everybody.